that bright light outside didn't blind anybody. We've had 2 days of it. I kind of enjoyed it. So, uh, but it is good to see everybody. I guess we'll call them into order, but I guess it'd be good since there's some new folks here, maybe some folks that hadn't met some others, to go around the room and maybe uh, tell everybody who you are and tell your name and what you do or what you want to do or something like that. So, Blank, you want to start?
Ryan Hughes, Taylor Bailey.
Real estate, you forgot that part. Go ahead.
Sam Devlin, Mayor of the City of Classville. I got a jack of all trades hat, so I don't know if you can go into all those.
Hunter Pepper, Decatur City Council, District 4, soon to be law school. Kyle White, Decatur City Council, District 2.
Carlton McMaster, Decatur City Council, District 3.
Jake Glasner, Decatur City Council, District 5.
Mr. Curtis.
Curtis Vincent, North Region Engineer, Alba. Scott Leach with the Arbor, out of Huntsville.
Jack Number of Large,
Rod Ellis, North Region Pre-Construction Engineer for Alba.
Adam King, Aldott, Tuscany Area Office.
Vaughn Goodwin, Mayor of Trinity.
Tab Bowen, Mayor Decatur. James Giles, Aldott.
Terry with the Decatur MPO.
I'm Dwayne Helms, I'm with the Decatur MPO.
Randy Garrison, I'm the mayor of Hartselle. Good to see everybody again. I guess the first order of business, if we can approve the minutes from the September 3rd, 2020 MPO Policy Board meeting. Anybody have anything they want to discuss on that or?
Move to approve.
Got a first, have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business, election of officers. I guess we have two that we need to elect.
Yes, sir.
We need a chairman and a vice chairman.
I'll nominate Mayor Garrison, Chairman. Second.
Somebody else need to do that? Or do I need?
That's up to y'all.
Move the nominations be closed.
Second.
All right. Go ahead. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on. Thank you very much. Vice chairman, do we have a motion, nomination for vice chairman?
I'd like to nominate Tab Bowen.
Second.
Have a motion to second?
Move closed. Second.
All right. All in favor of closing the nominations? I think I skipped that last time, I'm sorry. All right, all in favor of Mayor Tab Bowling as vice chairman of the MPO? Please affirm. Any opposed? I guess we need to discuss it, so, all in favor, we voted, so we're done, so, congratulations. All right, moving right along. Item number 4 is adopt resolution 2101 to amend the FY 2020-2023 Transportation Improvement Program to decrease the cost of the following project. Resurfacing State Road 3 US 31 from .10 miles south of State Road 67 to the Tennessee River Bridge. Wayne, you need to talk about that one.
Yeah, this is basically a state project that, I think it's supposed to bid, this next bid process, so after the next bid process, the true numbers will come in, we'll have a true number, whether this number is good or not, but during the process, sometimes these projects, when they estimate them, either go up or go down, and we bring them to the MPO. It's basically for informational purposes, and we do a resolution. We don't have to since it's a state project, but as I've explained in the past, we bring that in front of the MPO, and it's basically amending the Transportation Improvement Program to include these changes. Don't be surprised to see this project back on the agenda at the next MPO meet with the true cost, whether it be an increase or a decrease from where it's at.
All right, we have a motion to approve item number 4.
Motion for approval.
Have a second? All right, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, adopt resolution 21-02 to amend the FY 2020-2023 tip to decrease the cost of the following projects. It's resurfacing State Road 3 or US 31 from Atkinson Drive southeast to 0.12 miles south of State Road 67.
This is the same type of project. It's a cost decrease based upon the current estimates from the Alabama Department of Transportation. This project's basically amending the Transportation Improvement Program to lower them costs. When it's bid, we may come back if the costs are not where they need to be. They may need to increase or decrease again at that time.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve item number 5?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Like sign. Motion carries. Item number 6.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry. That's
Item number 6, 7, 8, 9, and
our copy.
10 are all transit projects. You can handle all them together if you want.
All right. Did y'all hear all that? We'll have to repeat it. Item 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Do y'all need me to read those resolutions, or we good just to?
Most of these are transit projects, either the 5311 program or the CARES Act. Transit got a lot of money out of the CARES Act, and that's no match, but this is what they are, and it's basically amending the Transportation Improvement Program to add these projects into it for fiscal year 2021.
Motion to approve items 6 through 10.
Second.
Have first, a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving these motions, or items? Any opposed? Item 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 carries. Item number 11, adopt resolution 21-08 to amend the FY 2020-2023 Transportation Improvement Program to include the funding on the following projects: intersection improvements on State Road 36 and Lando Kane Road in the city of Hartsville.
This is actually a MPO project being added to the TIP. City of Hartsville requested funding for this project. They have some development going on in that vicinity that's going to need this project to commence to help with the traffic flow. City Council from Hartsville approved the 20% match. The 80% funding is available in the MPO funding category for FY 2022. It includes preliminary engineering, right-of-way, utilities, and construction. It's a total amount of $1.3 million, with $260,000 of that being matched from the city of Hartsville.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Motion to approve.
All right, have a motion, have a second? We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, adopt resolution 2109 to amend the FY 2020-2023 Transportation Improvement Project to include funding on the following projects: resurface Bethel Road from Linwood Circle to State Road 67 in the town of Priceline.
Okay, this project is actually this project and the next two that's in the on the agenda are MPO projects for the city of Priceville. It's resurfacing projects. I come over here in 1999, took over as director in 2003, and I don't ever remember Priceville having a project on the MPO funding. They had one, but the cost got out of control, and they stopped it and done it with their own forces. But this is I think these three projects are the first ones in a long time since Priceville's had a project on the MPO side. These projects are needed also. I think once these projects are put in the TIP, every member except Limestone County has got a project that's either in the works or has been recently completed from the MPO, which is at one point in time the MPO couldn't do that. So I think we're making progress on getting some projects done. So this one is a total of $980,596. The council City Council of Priceville approved the match on all three of these projects. So this particular project has $196,119 of local funds for the 80-20 match.
Thanks, sir. All right, do we have a motion to approve item number 12? Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Item number 12 carries. Congratulations on having them. Adopt resolution 2110 to amend the FY 2023 Transportation Improvement Program to include funding on the following projects. Resurface Cave Springs Road from Bethel Road to Sunset Acres. And I'm just reading town of Priceville, but y'all are going by city now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll change that. I didn't catch that until a week or so ago, so we will change that.
Well, I saw it on email. I thought, wait a minute, that looks different. I'm sorry, did I finish reading that? I think I did.
This project is the same. It's a MPO project, total of $313,523 with the city of Priceville paying $62,704 of local match or 20%.
We have a motion to approve item number 13. Yes, sir. Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Item 13 carries. Item 14 is adopt resolution 2111 to amend the FY 2020-2023 transportation program to include funding on the following projects. Resurface Skidmore Road from State Road 67 to Cane Springs Road in the city of Priceville. I got it right.
This project's same. It's also an MPO project. Total cost is $248,880. Of that, $49,776 is provided by the City Council of Priceville.
Have a motion to approve item number 14. Have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving item number 14? Any opposed? Item carries. Number 15, adopt resolution 2112 approving the FY 2021 Highway Safety Improvement Program, or PM1 targets.
Right. During the FAST Act legislation in 2015, there was under the regulations, states and MPOs had to meet performance targets. There's 3 different ones. The PM1s has to deal with safety, and they have to be approved every year. Whenever them regulations or requirements came out, the MPO at that time decided that they would adopt whatever ALDOT had each year. ALDOT has updated these, and these are marks that they're looking for their safety program. It has come down, so it is helping. You can see where the numbers are coming down some, deaths and wrecks some, and sometimes it'll go up, but they set them marks each year to try to hit them marks to where they would be eligible for the federal funding. The MPO adopts them every year. That's what this resolution is. I believe that the PM2 targets we adopt every 2 years, and the PM3s every 4. And some of that has to do with resurfacing the pavements, the bridges, and when we go to the PM2s and the PM3s, I'll explain more what them has to entail. But for right now, it's a PM1s, but it's marks that ALDOT sets. It's easier for the MPO to let ALDOT set them than it is for us to try to get the data to come up with them, because it would be hard for us to get the data to do our own targets.
So we have a motion to approve item number 15.
So moved.
Second? All right. Any discussion? All in favor of approving item number 15? Any opposed? Item 15 carries. All right, item number 16, adopt resolution 2113 approving the draft 2045 Long Range Transportation Plan, or the LRTP. That's that big thing.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, last meeting we had, I said I was gonna do the short version, and Alan got on to me because it took so long. So I'll try to make it a little shorter, but, hopefully it won't bore you too much. Every 5 years, the MPO has to adopt a long-range transportation plan according to federal rules and guidelines. Inside of that plan, this was the 2040 plan. I know it's pretty thick, and I know all of y'all read that before y'all come to the meeting today, but it's a lot of information in there. There's information based on what the transportation system we have out there now, what it looks like now, how many housing units are in the area, how much employment is in the area, basically retail, non-retail employment, what the median income is in the area, school enrollment in the area, and dorms in the area, which we have no dorms right now. But inside of that yellow area that you see on the map, there's 286 traffic analysis zones that we gathered data for to look at traffic now and in the future to help guide the long-range plan for transportation projects. Since we do this every 5 years, mainly we're updating what's already out there. This update, we had to go in and put performance measures in because the performance measures was not in the 2015 plan. If you're looking at the map, there's two different colors on that map. There's a purple color and there's the yellow color. Purple is basically the urbanized area. Urbanized area is defined by the census. It is defined every 10 years, and whatever population is in that purple area is what we get our funding based upon, or the MPO funding. Funding comes down to the state through the transportation bill based upon formulas. ALDOT divvies it out to the MPOs based on the population formula for the 14 MPOs in the state of Alabama. Our current appropriation for each year for the MPO, that the MPO, this body decides where that money goes to, is $1,780,622 a year. That could go up a little bit, but usually when the transportation bills pass, sometimes it goes up. We used to get a little bit over $1 million, so it's went up a good bit lately. Projects we just added earlier, the Hartselle project, the Priceville project, any of the projects that's in the MPO, it comes out at $1.7 million. The transportation plan, in the past, we are supposed to, after we run what we call a travel demand model, we look at the traffic and we're supposed to fix that in that plan. Now, a lot of times we don't have the money to fix all the problems. We don't have the money right now to put a new bridge in across the river, okay? We know that the bridge is a problem. So what we have to do is there's different sections of the plan. One of them being the funded side of the plan, because under federal regulations, we have to be financially constrained. So whatever number is projected that we get to 2045, we can't go over that. So all the projects that does not fit in that, we put on the visionary side. So most of your capacity projects, your large capacity projects, are going to be on the visionary side, because capacity projects are really, really expensive right now. And us getting $1.7 million a year doesn't go a long ways towards capacity projects. Lee, go ahead and pass the project list out. I'm gonna skip over a lot of stuff. If you have any questions, you can ask me later, because I've already met with most of y'all one-on-one and kind of explained some of this stuff. I'm just gonna go right to the projects and just kind of explain a little bit. Let me get them passed out. All right, if you look on the first two pages, on 63 and 64, them are projects, they're MPO projects, they're called attributable projects, is basically what they are. We're projected to get a little bit over $44 million, $44,303,619 is what we're estimated to get until 2045. When we put these projects in, we have to start with all the projects that are in the tip or is underway or completed since 2015. So if you look at the time frame column, you'll see a TIP. Them projects are already set, they're in the TIP. Like I said, they're either done or they're going to be done. Projects underneath there are long-range transportation projects that are put in the plan. This document's not set in stone. Projects can move in, they can move out. We can edit this project whenever we need to add needed projects as situations arises. A lot of these projects was in the last long-range plan in the 2040, and we just moved them over to the 2045 plan. If you look, you're probably thinking, hey, there's no capacity projects much in here. Well, there's a reason. With us only getting $1.7 million a year, past MPO bodies, and some of y'all been around a long time, basically decided we're gonna do intersection and resurfacing projects because we're getting projects done. Some projects at 2 million a lane mile, 3 million a lane mile, if you're doing 2 miles, that's $6 to 10 to $12 million by the time you get done with that roadway. So at $1.7 million a year, you have to save up many years to get a little bit of roadway. So the intersection and the resurfacing projects are pretty much what's in here, and the capacity projects are mainly in the visionary side of the plan. The only projects that the MPO has direction over is on page 63 and 64, the attributable projects. Them projects, the MPO decides where that money goes. The projects on 65 and 66 and 67 are mainly ALDOT projects. MPO works in conjunction with ALDOT on setting some of them priorities on some of them projects. But ALDOT's mainly got projects in their plan that they put under them funding categories. And there's a lot of different funding categories, and if you want to know some of them, we can talk after the meeting. There's a lot of different funding categories and a lot of different rules and regulations on where that money can be spent. Any of the MPO money can be spent in that yellow area on a collector or above. So it can be spent on a local street, local neighborhood street. But a collector or above, if it's function classified, it can be spent on any of them roads. Okay? If anybody has any questions, just speak up, because so if you look on page 67, these projects are mainly grant projects, TAP projects, and of course the build projects in there also. Them are mainly, them projects, you know, you'll have some move in, some move out, because if you get awarded a TAP grant, it'll move into that. If you get awarded a build grant, the A-Trip 2 grants will go in there, even though it's not federal money, it's state, it's still regionally significant. So they'll be in here also. So if you look on the back on page 72, these are the visionary side. So the visionary side is mainly where your projects are going to go that we just don't have the money to put on the funded side. We know these projects need to be done, but we don't have a way to fund them right now because they get quite expensive. So these are going to be some of your larger projects here. If you notice, we didn't program a bridge specifically in this list. We know that we need another bridge across the Tennessee River, but we don't know where it's going to go and how much it's going to cost. Until we figure that out, there's no need to program one in here. we could throw a number at it and say, hey, it's gonna be $500 million or $1 billion, but until we know, it's no use to put it in there. We are working to try to get, some kind of study to identify, where a good location would be across the bridge, but we're not there yet. So, basically, this plan is basically taking us up to the next 5 years. Some of these projects will get done. We got done, there was 5 or 6 of the projects since in the last 5 years that we got done. There's gonna be some projects that we don't have, none of us have any idea that need to be done, that something's gonna move into here and all of a sudden we're gonna say, hey, we gotta do something. Then we come back and say, hey, we're gonna amend the long-range plan to add this roadway. Could be stimulus money come in. We've had that happen before, and then you have to add projects to the long-range plan and then to the TIP. In order for a project to get into the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Program, it has to be in the long-range plan. So a lot of times we'll amend the long-range plan and then put it into the TIP. So all of this funding too, as you're looking at, is federal funding. It requires 20% match. So almost all of these projects. After today, if the body approves the draft, we'll have a 30-day public comment meeting. That plan is available on our website. It'll be available in y'all's offices too, because y'all have access to it. We have access, if somebody needs to stop by our office, we have access to it. They could comment. It's on Facebook. We'll put it up on Facebook, on our page on Facebook, so public comment. We actually have, these meetings serve as public information meetings, so anybody from the public wants to comment, they can comment at this meeting also. I mean, that's kind of it. There's a lot more to it, but I tried to not make it as long as what it seemed.
Anybody have any questions, or are we ready to move on? All right, we have a motion to approve item number 16, adopt resolution 2113, approving the draft 2045 long-range transportation plan, or the LRTP.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All right, any discussion? All in favor of approving item number 16? Any opposed? Motion carries, or item carries. All right, let's see. Item 17 is open public comment period for the draft of 2045 long-range transportation plan. Would anybody like to speak? We have a motion to close the public comment period.
So,
Second. All in favor of closing the public comment period? Any opposed? All right. Item number 18 is new business.
Unless somebody out there has some.
Do I have any new business they want to share? All right. Mr. Vincent, would you like to share anything from Aldott or Alan or any of the other
Alex,
folks?
you wanna go over some of the MPO projects?
Right now, we have, actually 3 fairly real active MPO projects. First one's down in Hartsville, it's the intersection improvement project at Long Ridge Road and, US 31. We're doing some access management and journaling and things there. Been through a 30% review, so plans are at 30%. We plan on, letting that project sometime later this fiscal year. Morgan County has one that's active, it's replace culvert approaches on West Morgan Road over Baker's Creek. He's authorized on it, it's also scheduled, hopefully for 2021. Now, Greg earlier said maybe late in the fiscal year. And then we just had PE authorized on the Church Street resurfacing job. So that one essentially, as soon as the plan's ready now, it's scheduled in July, but we'll let it as soon as we get the plans to the office engineer. So it'll move on. And then as far as state projects go, we've got one project at now the price of that project has got up to around $50 million. So it's a project that's probably gonna have to be split up into several projects and let over, maybe a 5 to somewhere 10-year period in smaller segments that we can do. But the work that's gonna have to be done, or it's gonna be repainted, bridge deck's gonna be repaired, we're gonna refit the, rails on it with, solid concrete rails, bearing plates have to be replaced, and then there's some other minor, structural, like the caps are gonna have to be repaired. As far as A-Trip 2 projects, we've been real lucky in this area in that, in the past 2 years, this area has been chosen, for 2 A-Trip projects. Tater got one last year. Those plans are being prepared. They were hoping to make a letting sometimes in, the middle of the fiscal year for it. It's to, improve 2 intersections on the belt line, offset the left-hand turns, and giving what everybody refers to as a flashing yellow turn on that. The other one just recently awarded the Hartsel. It's access management, improvement type project, generally located between Walmart and Sparkman Drive, or Sparkman Road. Right in that area, right where the new Taco Bell and the new health center's gonna be. It'll be turn lanes and access management in that area. That pretty much wraps up what we have in this area. Unless Rod or Mr. Benson or Holly would have something.
All right. Seth doesn't have anything to say. He don't. He made everybody's day with those announcements about 565 and lanes closing.
Sorry, sir.
I said, you make everybody's day with those lane closings till 65.
Y'all, didn't he look good on TV this week?
He did.
During the week.
Hopefully it makes their day better than just driving into it.
And running into it.
I think, once we get comments back from, ALDOT, Federal Highway Administration, Federal Transit Administration, and after a 30-day comment period, we'll have another meeting probably in the latter part of March, maybe the first part of May, to approve the, long-range transportation plan. And then we won't have to do that again for another 5 years. So,
And if that bill passes in the legislature, you'll still be dealing with the same people in 5 years.
mhm.
Some of you, this is kind of off subject, I don't know if a lot of you know about it, but there's a bill in the legislature. The League of Municipalities is trying to get the municipal elections moved from the same year as a presidential election. There's a bill in the House, and I don't remember who submitted that. Tab, you remember who submitted? It's in the House, isn't it? Anyway, to move it off, so everybody that's currently in office would serve 5 years instead of 4. So that's why I made that comment, that you might still be dealing with the same people. You might not get out of doing it again, so, anyway. Anybody else have any comments they'd like to make?
I have a question. Does, any of our friends from ALDOT know if Boston Toyota is trying to route all their freight in on, Huntsville Browns Ferry Road? Or is it kind of, just have that, that's my map that are not theirs?
Mayor, I do not have an answer to that. I've been out to that facility, but at this current time, I don't know where the freight's coming in.
Okay, thank you. And there's, of course, you can get 65 to, or 31. It'd be nice if that could take it off 565.
But I do know that the Green Parkway extension has been extended up, and it's almost at the Browns Ferry Road. The city of Huntsville's done a terrific job in getting all that completed. Work's going on 90 to nothing out there right now, with anticipation that cars will be rolling off the line sometime this year.
It kind of lends itself to wishful thinking. Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate everybody's support on the bicycle project stuff. Like I said, we don't get along.
You made the motion for all that.
I tried not to do that. I tried to let everybody else, support us on that.
Well, I'm gonna tell Melvin that all those years he was on here, didn't get anything, and then Sam's on here to get through. Cause you know, I don't mind giving him a hard time.
That's right.
Now, when those turn lanes in Crossville, were they not part of the turn lanes in the 65, when they extended, was they not part of the?
That was a state project, though, it wasn't the MPO. This is actually dedicated money.
All right, if nobody else has anything, you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? Nobody's against it, right? Thank you very much.